Have you noticed that as you grow older, your years feel shorter and shorter, until they pass by in a blink of eye? It definitely happened to me, and here is what I did to slow them back down. By the end of the video, you will know exactly why your years feel shorter and why the cure isn't spending your time more wisely, it's spending it more unreasonably. Did you ever get the feeling that the year just started and it's already August? Your months didn't get shorter, your brain just didn't save them. And it does it on purpose for a good reason. Do you remember what you did in your last 5 summers? I can't. Not clearly. That's not bad memory, that's your brain being efficient and skipping whatever repeats. Same reason you drive home every day and remember none of it. Hundreds of small actions, hundreds of tiny decisions, and not one of them kept. Your brain has 2 ways of getting through a day, and one of them records nothing. I will show you exactly where it happens, then I will show you what I did to stop it. I worked as a mechanical engineer for over a decade. I designed all sorts of things that now all comes rather effortlessly. A few weeks back, I decided to exit my comfort zone and open a software I had no business to open. That decision changed how fast my years went by. Here's why. Your memory keeps the hours you had to think through consciously. You lose the ones you got through automatically. Because of a new project, I had to design a new PCB, something totally new for me, and I remember vividly the first hour. The sensation of someone arriving for the first time in a foreign country, not knowing where anything was, clicking buttons to find out what they did, looking up what a resistor value implies, or even just finding the component library. I had to decide or learn something every 10 seconds. Sometimes trying to figure it out by instinct, sometimes asking to Claude. That hour felt long, slow but full. Now the strange part, I remember almost nothing of the CAD work done for my last rubber drone. I just know it took many hours, but I did it in autopilot. I clicked the same SolidWorks buttons hundreds of times in the past. And of course the result came out as planned or imagined. No surprise whatsoever. Your brain has 2 modes. One of them saves your life as you leave it. Your brain is only 2% of your body weight, but it burns 20% of your energy, even at rest. It's expensive, so it avoids working hard whenever it can. It does that with 2 modes. On purpose mode runs when you haven't mastered something, slow, error-prone, costly. It runs in your prefrontal cortex, right behind your forehead, and it pays attention to everything, so everything gets saved. Automatic mode runs anything you've done enough times, fast, cheap. It runs in the basal ganglia, deep in the middle of your brain. It gets the job done without you watching, and it saves almost nothing. Now, automatic mode is not a villain. It's useful. You only have so much mental energy a day. Every decision spends some. Handing your routine to autopilot frees the expensive part of your brain for what matters. Obama said he only wore gray or blue suit for exactly the same reason. Fewer small decisions, more left for big ones. Steve Jobs and the black turtleneck get brought up for the same idea, though he never really explained it that way. All in all, this only helps if you put something in it. If the whole day is routine, nothing gets to save the energy and nothing gets recorded. You know the feeling. You've driven all the way home and can't remember the drive. So I picked something I couldn't do without thinking, a schematic of the plan of a circuit. I had to learn what each part actually does. Why does this need a resistor here? What breaks if I leave it out? In mechanical design, I look at the part and know what it does, but not here. No autopilot available, and you can't force it to switch off by trying hard. It switches off automatically when something is too hard to do without paying attention. What actually stops you isn't skill. It's not having the way to make the thing real. There's one place electronics is harder than mechanical work: prototyping. With the mechanical part, I make my own prototype, print it tonight, hold it in the morning, find what's wrong, print it again by lunch. You can't make a real circuit board at home. For years, that was the reason I never tried. I thought my design would stay a picture on a screen. That's where PCBWay came in. That reason not to try was gone. When the board is finished, the software exports files every factory in the world reads in the same way. The order process is quick. I went straight to instant quote, then quick order to keep it simple. I uploaded the Gerber file I exported earlier. That one file carries everything the factory needs to build the board. A look at the preview. Every layer matches my design exactly. There's almost nothing left to add. I picked black for the solder mask. That's it, the prototyping problem is gone. $5. 5 professionally made boards. You can also have PCBWay assemble them for you. Or go further with the turnkey option and let them buy all the components too. To get the real quote, save the order to cart. Confirm you are not an arms dealer. Then upload the last 2 files, the bill of materials and the pick and place file. Then you wait for their check, they approve it, and your boards are on the way. 30 seconds of clicking turns 4 weeks of learning into a real object. And that's the part nobody warns you about. The hard part was never the factory. The hard part was the 4 weeks before it. Being new at something is one thing autopilot can't handle. It happened to me countless times. When my first daughter was born, we started going to Riviera Romagnola. The first year generally impressed me. Everything there is built around families. The organization, the beaches, the hotels, all of it just works. So we kept going back 7 years. And we changed the location every time on purpose to have some variety. Here's the thing. The first year is still the best one, and it's the only one I remember properly. The songs, the mascots, the parties, it's all still there. The other years, all blurred into the same pattern. Hotel, beach, restaurant, repeat. I thought changing the town was enough. It wasn't. The place changed, the pattern didn't, and my brain records only once the pattern. Your years aren't getting shorter, your brain is saving less of them. Most people blame math. A year at 7 is 1/7 of your life. At 30, it's 1/30. That sounds clever, it explains nothing. A fraction can't change how something feels. The real reason is memory. Researchers asked old people to name the clearest memories of their lives. They weren't spread evenly across the decades. Most came from 10 and 30. Not because those years were happier, because those years were full of first times. Some of my clearest memories are from China. I lived there until I was 9. That was 35-40 years ago. The country was still poor. State-owned factories. Nothing about that childhood was comfortable by today's standards. And I remember all of it. Going out in the evening for street food, the river outside the city, the mountains behind it. Every one of those afternoons was an adventure because every time there was something new to discover. Could be just a piece of stone with a funny shape. Some nights I still dream about those places, real dreams, decades later. I can't do that with all the fancy Italian restaurants I've been or the most iconic landmarks I've visited across Europe. Now compare that to 4 weeks of designing a simple circuit board. Every step was a first time, finding the components, reading the spec sheet of every single one, working out how they connect, naming every net, turning that schematic into a layout, choosing my layers, physically placing each part so the whole thing makes sense, routing every connection, the design rule check, and then clearing every single error it found. Each one of those steps means a long conversation or with Claude, asking questions I would have been embarrassed to ask to a person, and most of them I had to redo 2 or 3 times before they worked. Nothing repeated. The whole project was the first year. That worked for me. The last 4 weeks feel like a year when I look back at them. Hopefully I've given you something to try. I've got 5 of these boards now, and I'm honestly relieved that they work. Here's the thing about dates. There are only a handful I never forget. The 8th of April 1994, the day I moved from China to Italy. That changed everything about my life at that time, and I can still tell you what that day felt like.
August 2026 is going to be another one. That's when I unlocked electronics design, not because it's as important, because I remember it. So what is it actually for? Follow the channel, a new video will tell you. It's a fun one and I think you are going to like it.